Yeah, I'd like to see the parts of the whole being kinder to each other. Do you experience the world as kind?
Often we do.
Yeah.
I often experience the more love I give out, the more love I experience in my life. Yeah. And I think that in order for the world to become kinder, we all have to be more gentle with ourselves, and that you have to come to a sort of a calm, peaceful place in yourself, an acceptance of yourself, a love of yourself. And if everyone loved themselves, then I think the world would be a much more loving place, and much more able to express love to other people if they believe that they're worthy of it themselves.
Have you experienced a kindness recently?
You're kind to me, you've been kind to me, you've come and visited me, you drove all the way up from Amersham. That's a kindness. I experience little kindnesses every day. My children are always, well, not always, but often kind. My husband's very kind, he's a lovely man. So yeah, in every day, in lots of little ways, I experience kindness, yes.
Good, that's nice to know.
Yeah. If I'm out with the kids with a buggy and I can't get it onto the train, someone's generally there to help,
to
lend a hand, to lift it in or lift it out, or, you know.
Thank you.
When bags fall on the floor, someone's there and they come, and I think that naturally we want to help each other, and when you're in a situation where you see somebody in need, the natural human instinct is to actually help them. That's the natural reaction.
Yeah, because it just feels as if a lot of people have forgotten that we need to cooperate. It's become too competitive for me.
Yeah, I would
which
agree
is why
with you.
I'm asking people their experience of the world, because I experience kindness
as a
too.
family, we make a point of random acts of kindness. We will always, if we've got enough money, pay for the car, for the toll of the car behind us when we go through a toll bridge. We leave little notes in the supermarkets for people to find randomly, and things like that. I think if we were a bit better off, we would sort of pay for someone's bill in the shop, or things like that, you know, leaving love letters, anonymous love letters strewn around Westbury and various things like that. And I think the more people do things like that, the more loving they'll find their environment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kindness is one of the most powerful things that we can show that we're all one and united. So one single act of kindness per day by everyone, and that might just include smiling at each other, smiling at a stranger, doing things for people and they'll never ever know it was you. Yeah, random act of kindness, I'd love to see that in the world.
Do you find that you experience that from other people?
Yes, yes I do. I love it. The other day, well, about a month ago, I went downtown, bought 2 bunches of flowers and then randomly gave them to somebody. And I'm finding now that when I do it, people are much happier to receive it. And one woman said, why are you doing this? And I said, because I want random acts of kindness. And if I do it, then it has a kick-on effect. And she found me about 5 minutes later in the precinct and said, excuse me, would you mind if I pass that on? And I said, you do whatever and you will get the same benefit that I get from giving you this bunch of flowers. And she was so excited that she was going to do something she'd never done before. Yeah, so yes. To your question, Ashra, yes, of course we are all one. And yes, random act of kindness. Be kind to each other. Let's care about each other. We're actually all very important.
Absolutely.
So therefore,
we are
golden. Yeah, if you do good, you get good back. Yeah.
Yeah, what you put out, you will come back. It will come back to you.
Yeah.
It's the law of the universe. Yeah. So you put good things out and good things come back. What?
And do you expect... Do you experience the world as kind? Yes, I should add on the video that the strange noises are emanating from our Harry, who has a bone.
You found the noisiest place, didn't you, Harry?
I think she's experiencing the world as kind, so that... Do you find much difference between Switzerland, where you actually live, and, say, England? Are people... Is there a difference in the kindness?
Well, I find people much more open here.
Really?
Seem to, well, you know, you just walk along the street and they will say hello more than in Switzerland. And you've got this pub culture, which is a shame that it's dying, because that's a fantastic place. And you come in as a stranger and straight away you meet somebody and start chatting, and as if you've known each other forever. Which is not the case in Switzerland. It's like little bubbles, you know, you're with the people you know and you don't really mingle with others. Well, I think that's what Pete also experienced.
When you get on a tram and you know that these people must know each other.
Because they've been travelling.
Yeah, and nobody talks to each other. And in bars, everybody just tends to sit in a corner. You don't, and you never see people hanging around a bar and chatting randomly.
Right.
That's what I found. I mean, individually, really nice.
Yes.
Yeah, but very, very reserved.
Yeah.
The second question. Do you experience the world as kind?
I don't make that judgment, is the reality. That there are many different things or behaviours that I can say are kind or unkind, but in my own life I feel like I have a different perception these days about how I view the world. So I can actually in a moment go, that's bad behaviour in my opinion, but I'm a Buddhist nun, and the bottom line is all life is suffering, because that's a condition of the mind. But there is a way out of that to see something else. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, yes, there are many things that are not okay in the world. But when it boils down to each individual human being and you're on a one-to-one basis with them, most people are kind. And I don't believe many people are acting from malicious intent. But people do get caught up in things that end up looking labelled unkind. But then you can say from another perspective, that's just how it is, and it's all a lesson to do. So it's, again, a game of words and perceptions. So, I don't know.
Do you feel like you personally have experienced a kindness from someone, or it doesn't have to be just one?
I personally have experienced so many kindnesses in my life from so many people that, you know, I feel I'm really blessed. And I've also been in a place where I have experienced unkindness, but I have tried to work through that to the point of seeing where actually I had a hook in it to be that way. So when I don't need people to be kind to me anymore, but I can try to be kind to them, but that doesn't always mean I'll be nice. It's an interesting word.
It is, hence the question. Do you experience the world as a kind place? Is that your comment?
I'm just thinking. Well, everyone could be kind. Yeah.
Have you experienced a kindness recently? Somebody being...
A kindness?
Oh, it would be more than one.
Many, all the time. Every day. The beauty's in everything when you do look. Even in what people perceive to be nastiness, I do see beauty. There's beauty in the dark for sure. That's it.
Nice one. It's interesting.
A bit dark.
it's interesting actually, to me personally, how many people actually say they do experience the world as kind.
Really? When you look at things like world wars or even wars or any type of conflict, that happens daily too, en masse.
Yeah.
But so does kindness. And once again, this goes back to the resonance. It's what we are. And if you can think positive, think good, think love, then you're sending out good resonance. It's like, I don't know if people have ever experienced when you make a meal and you're putting love into that meal and a lot of time, and you know you're making that for a reason, and you're giving it that love resonance, and it tastes absolutely beautiful. But there's times when you can make a meal and you'll be hate and stress, and all that kind of energy goes in too. And this has been proved through science. You can freeze water after putting a resonance in, or even do it to plants. Put two plants, totally separate, put a sticker on one, say love, put a sticker on the other and say hate, and every time you see the plant with love, give it love, give the other plant hate, and watch the difference between the two plants when you're giving them exactly the same food source. It's very strange how one plant will wither away or not be as productive, and that the love plant will blossom.
Next question. Make it easy.
Do you experience the world as kind, as a kind place?
Sometimes it's kind, sometimes it ain't, is it?
Have you experienced anyone being kind to you recently?
Yeah, lots of people are kind to me.
Good. I mean, you seem like a kind lady to me.
Do I? Do I? I'm very kind. Next.
See, they're really easy. Second question. Do you experience the world as kind?
Any hesitation on my part in answering a question usually means that there is a modicum of doubt. It's not that cut and dried for me. Some of the world is so kind and so bountiful and so wonderful and so awe-inspiring, and some of the world is full of pity and shame and the dreadful things that humanity does to itself and to nature. So it can't be kind all the time, and it can't be cruel all the time. It would be better if it was kind most of the time. Because nature can be cruel, you know. You couldn't say that from a human's perspective. If you look at a lion killing a zebra, you know, that's nature. Nothing that we have any control of, but when humans start doing that to one another, that's another matter. Because we're sentient, conscious human beings, and that's not what we should be doing. So no, it's difficult to answer that question. I can't really think of a way around it.
Good answer. How about you personally? Have you experienced a kindness recently?
Oh, recently a great deal of kindness. Very touching, I mean. My little family has recently lost somebody they love very much, and it brought people that knew my ex-husband from kind of far and wide to show their kindness. Yes. There's been a lot of kindness around me, not always kind of being conscious of it at the time, but you know, afterwards I've thought, gosh, that was so kind, that was so nice the way they came up to me, put their arms round and didn't ask any questions, but just gave me comfort, or, you know, or to my children or grandchildren. No, there's been a lot of kindness recently.
Good, thank you. So the second question,
Yeah.
do you experience the world as kind?
What, was that it? Do I experience the world, or did you cut out?
As kind.
Oh, so could you say it again? Because that's all I got was, do you experience the world? Yes, I do.
Do you experience the world as kind?
Ah, crikey. In my experience, yeah, I do. I think I do, yeah. I think the world is kind. But I also see the bullshit, which is so unkind. It's ridiculous. All the games and all the money and all the rubbish that goes on, and people standing on people and grabbing land and grabbing everything, and that I find very unkind and just ridiculous. And that's linked to number one, which is we are all one, get a blood. Yeah, I think fundamentally the world is kind. Of course it is. So I go to a lot of places around the world, and I don't meet unkind people anywhere I go. Really, it's quite the opposite. And I'm privileged that I go to a lot of developing countries, as they're known, and the majority, well, everyone I meet, I don't think I've met anyone that isn't unkind. I've seen sort of, I don't think I've met anyone that's unkind. I don't think I've had any really sort of bad experiences at all I can think of. You get people who are a bit strange, but in general, I think everyone is kind.
Cool. Have you experienced a kindness recently?
Yeah, from support from people is a form of kindness.
Yes, definitely.
Willing to share time and talk and help in situations where you need help. It could be like professionally, people I work with help me in all sorts of ways and are very kind. Most of them, well, all of them. Really. As in daily life, I don't seem to get out of this room much at the moment. But, well, since Christmas I've been in here. Either just working. This is why I work as well, is make music and all the rest of it. So, but the people I speak to around the world are all very kind, really.
That's good. Cool.
I can't think of an instance of kindness, to be quite honest with you.
No, that's okay. As long, it's nice that that's your overall experience.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
So, the next question. Do you experience the world as kind?
Not in all moments. What came to mind just then actually was a few years ago I seemed to have a lot of issues with dogs. That was what the thought came into my head, was like dogs. One of the experiences was a neighbour used to have a big dog that sort of like hang around outside. And I had an experience of every time I walked past this dog, I mean, he'd do it to everyone, he'd sort of like bark quite territorially. And for a time, I felt like it was an attack on me. I felt sort of threatened by it. And then I did this experiment of walking along the road, and I was aware that I'd get really anxious every time I walked past this dog. And I just decided that I was not going to make eye contact with the dog. I was going to pretend this barking big dog wasn't there. So I was just sort of walking past and looking up at the trees and, you know, paying attention to everything else apart from this barking dog. And it was almost like it disconnected. It was like turning off a switch. It was like the dog couldn't respond to. I wasn't staring it in the eyes, and I wasn't a threat, and it was just sort of made this funny sort of whimpering noise and sat down. So I started to do that. It's like, okay, this dog isn't there.
You weren't feeding the situation.
Yeah. It's
So is that how you experience the world, like a barking dog?
There are times when I do. I mean, the question was, do I experience the world as a kind place? Well, actually, no, I don't.
You don't?
There's kindness in it, but, you know.
Have you experienced a kindness from anyone recently, you know, a kindness?
Yeah.
Good. Do you experience the world as kind?
No. 50-50. Really, up and down. You know, I can't think about just the fact that everything eats everything else. You know, tigers are beautiful, but, you know, they eat baby deer that are even more beautiful. You know, and, you know, we live in a world with scorpions and syphilis and all sorts of grim things. So I don't see that it is kind.
What about in your personal life? Have you experienced a kindness recently?
All the time. People are nice. They can be very nice to each other, but again, they can be dreadfully, appallingly bad to each other. So I think it's again, it's 50-50. And I look at the way people organise themselves and help out. You know, the fact that we got an NHS in this country is marvellous. It's and all sorts of like communal activities, but there again, you know, we steamed off and killed a lot of Iraqis. The same government system that was running the NHS and jumped into an illegal war. So kind is yeah. I would, you know, like the world to be kinder, but I think there's an intrinsic brutality. You know, a volcano blows up. You know, hopefully you get blown up with it, you know, and you wouldn't be like wandering about in the dust for days as you slowly gasp your last. And some absolutely appalling things could happen, you know, in like situations I've known in working in psychiatry. So no, the world's not kind, but it's not unkind. It's half and half.
Cool. Okay. Do you experience the world as kind?
Yes, although I do see a lot of unkindness, but I believe that law of attraction means that for me personally, I try to be as kind as possible within my life, and thus, because I've been doing that for some years now, I attract more kindness to my life because that's what I put out to the world. I think people can be caught in the same energy cycle but reverse, where they're putting out unkindness to everyone and all they're seeing is unkindness, and that justifies them to maintain their being of unkindness as opposed to my state of being of kindness where possible.
Nice. I'd like a lot of people in the world to hear that.
Cool. What was the next question?
Do I experience the world as kind?
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Hang on, I've got to ask you.
I was asking myself.
Yeah, I know, but then you prime me and then I can ask you and you edit it and then it looks like I knew the questions and I'm brilliant. That's just how it works. Okay.
I'm going to leave all this in.
Yeah, I know you are. Anyway, do you experience the world as kind?
I do indeed. I do indeed. I read things, hear things, see things on Facebook, and I see so much unkindness, so much outright nastiness, uncaringness, and at the same time there's just so much lovely stuff, so many beautiful things going on. I was listening to Radio 4 on the way, and there were, it was Woman's Hour, and, well actually I better not get distracted into that. The kindness that they were expressing about the subject they were talking about was really, I actually found myself with tears in my eyes, which isn't helpful when you're driving. My personal experience of the world is that I experience so much kindness, so much love that it overwhelms me sometimes, how lovely people are.
I'd have to agree with you there.
Yeah, the world is kind, and I do my best to be as kind as I can. I'm not always kind. Sometimes I hear myself say something and think, wow, that's not kind. But it's definitely, and gratitude as well. I'm big into gratitude these days, and that's kind.